Hi everybody, I'm Barbara Thompson of WLScenter.com. You know, recently I came down with a bout of flu, and along with flu comes that inevitable nausea. Everything I tried to get onto my stomach just did not feel right. But I found that if I didn't eat, it was even worse, and I was kind of stuck with it. And it took me back to that time after I had my surgery. I had a 4-month stretch of time when I had nagging nausea. It seemed no matter what I did, I suffered from that nausea. But I did over time find some things that helped. And I really needed those things because I was becoming fearful that I was never going to be able to enjoy food again. I was getting frustrated and feeling hopeless. So here's what I found. First of all, I learned to chew. And I know we've all heard chew, 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 chew your food. We've gone to Weight Watcher meetings and people have told us after you take a bite of food, put your fork down and chew, chew, chew. The articles we've read on losing weight, and they all say the same thing. But you know what? It really works. I found that if I chewed my food better, the nausea was very, very much diminished. You may want to try that. And I found it's almost 8 years since I had my surgery. I still do the same thing. I got in such a habit of doing that. I now always find myself putting my fork down between bites of food that I take, and I really chew my food. Another thing I learned was don't drink when you eat because that puts added pressure onto your pouch. You're pushing what you have in your stomach, you're pushing it through, and it will add to your nausea. I found that I had good days and I had bad days. Well, I looked at the good days I had and I tried to replicate those days. I looked at what I ate and I knew, okay, if it worked once, I know it's going to work again. I know that I'm going to feel okay eventually when I eat these same foods. So I tried to replicate that food, eat the same thing, and just kind of accumulate a whole list of things that I knew were okay, weren't going to cause me problems all the time. I also tried to approach my pouch as if it were a baby. And to think, would I give a baby that? Because, you know, after you've had gastric bypass surgery, your pouch really is a baby. It's newly formed. And you have to think of it in terms of this is like a baby's pouch. For instance, would you give a baby straight orange juice? No, you wouldn't, because it would be too acidic. You would cut it with some water, so it would be a little bit more gentle. Would you give a baby the peel on an apple? No, because you'd be afraid that that peel would get stuck. So try to think in terms of that. Finally, I looked for things that I found were soothing for me, like peppermint, for instance. Drinking peppermint tea or chewing on leaves of peppermint, even smelling the peppermint oil was very soothing for me, as was chamomile tea. So look for those soothing properties of different foods or different things that you can drink that will be gentle on your stomach, that will help with that nausea. Dealing with nausea is not an easy thing, and I know many of you may be frustrated. You may be thinking to yourself, what have I done to myself? Feeling hopeless that you can't get out of it because this is something that's permanent. But I want you to know that it will pass. You will get through it. And life will be good. And you'll look back on this time as I look back on it. You'll remember the lessons that you've learned. And it will pass. Well, I hope to see you again in 2 weeks. Take care, everybody. Bye.